Everyone knows who the Impractical Jokers are. With new seasons always containing fresh content, they've been staying relevant since 2011. We love how creative the show can be, and it seems to never get old. Not only that, but it is almost a guaranteed laugh every time we watch it.
Foster's is a nice crisp lager.
Can I have the one you recommend? I get you the Foster's.
You got a problem with my ball?
You got a problem with my ball?
Really go off on him now.
Which one you want, buddy? This one, forget it. Look here, my finger was in it. It's no good. What do you want?
This one's Seafarers.
Seafarers, yeah. Well, you came in shooting your mouth off, so I just want to make sure you're happy. This guy wants a seafarer. I see you walk in and you're talking to her like I can't hear you. I'm standing right here. You don't want the Foster? She orders a Foster. The Fosters wasn't good enough, so we got him the Seafarers. Cheers, mate.
Well, I want to throw up.
The Impractical Jokers contain 4 long friends, Joe, Murr, Q, and Saul. Each of them were unique to the cast and brought many different jokes. If you're a fan of the show, you should know that as of recently, Joe has decided to leave the Jokers. What you might not know is the reason. Please, if it's your first time watching Business Casual, we would appreciate you if you hit the subscribe button. Nevertheless, let's jump straight into it. It's been a wild ride for Joe Gatto on Impractical Jokers. The Staten Island native has gone from local bartender to one of the most beloved members of the Impractical Jokers cast.
Are you a genie?
Yes.
Can I wish for anything I want?
Genie does as you wish.
Genie does as you wish.
Can you fly?
Genie does as you wish.
However, before season 7 aired, Joe announced he was leaving the show to focus on his music career. And we all have the details on why he won't return to Impractical Jokers anytime soon. In an interview with Elite Daily, Joe said that after 7 seasons and 250 episodes, it was time for him to move on from Impractical Jokers. He also said goodbye to fans on Twitter, writing, "I've had a blast shooting for over 250 episodes and 7 seasons of Impractical Jokers. To all of you who supported me along this journey, thank you. I wish all of you the best in your future endeavors." So what do we know about Joe Gatto leaving Impractical Jokers? Keep listening for our insider scoop.
Do you ever run out of ideas?
No. Well, have we? I don't know.
Joe, not in this season, left a heartfelt message about how much he loved you guys, but it's a different dynamic. Did you guys ever, what's that like? Did you guys ever think like, oh, this is gonna be a great joke for Joe, and then you're like, oh wait, he's not there?
I actually had a great time meeting a lot of people here.
You know, you played around in the hallways, you could actually perform for people and get to know people through just being fun and funny.
One of the stars of Impractical Jokers, Joe Gatto, announced that he was leaving the show in February 2019. As said, Joe wanted to spend more time with his family and didn't want to be away from them for extended periods. However, many people thought this was because he wasn't getting enough money from the show, or because he didn't like doing the pranks anymore, which is not true. Joe Gatto's daughter was born in September 2015. When you're a comedian, your work schedule is often unpredictable. You might need to travel for work or perform stand-up shows at night, which means being away from home. Joe Gatto's daughter was born in September 2015, so he wanted to spend more time with her while working on Impractical Jokers. He said, "I don't want my life to be completely consumed by other people's lives after she's born." He wanted to avoid the fate of his friend who adopted his daughter from being on the road all the time. Joe Gatto had a friend who adopted a daughter from China. He was always on the road, and it was hard for him to be away from his family. Joe wanted to avoid that fate, so he decided that breaking from Impractical Jokers would be the best solution. So Joe was worried about the long-term effects of being on the road all the time, and he wanted to spend more time with his daughter, who lives in California. He said that after 9 years on the road, he has come to realize that there are some things he needs from his wife and daughter more than anything else. Dinner at home, and a bedtime story before bedtime. Something that can be hard for people who frequently travel like comedians. Joe also mentions his passion for music. Over the years, the boys have grown from unknown comedians to household names. When season 7 aired, fans discovered that Joe Gatto was leaving the show. He explained that he was ready for a change in his career and wanted to focus on music. "This is something I've been thinking about for the last year or so," Joe said. "I think the time is right. I've had the best time in my life doing this show. I've met many great people, and we've done many fun things. I've gotten to travel all over the world, and I'm grateful for that. At the same time, I've been doing this for 12 years. I've been doing comedy for 16. It's time to try something new. While he was on the show, he only released one instrumental album. He said he felt he needed to focus more on his music, but he didn't want to leave the show. I've been putting all my effort into this, but I've also been putting all my effort into music. It's a big part of my life, Joe said. No matter how much I try to juggle both, I think music suffered a little. So I'll put 100% of my energy into that. He added, I've been playing music since I was a kid. I've been in a couple of bands and played in bars around New York City, but I've never really put music out there. It's something that I've always been happy to do for friends and family, but I've never really put it out there. So I think this is the perfect time and place to do that. Even without Joe, the show has been renewed for 3 more seasons. The Jokers are signed for another 3 years. And if you thought this was an excellent time to get into the Impractical Jokers fandom, if you haven't already, then consider yourself lucky because they're going strong. Nobody can wait until next year when we get to see more shenanigans from these 4 guys who were once strangers but now work together weekly at QVC. The Jokers made a movie called Impractical Jokers in August 2019. The first movie based on Impractical Jokers was released in theaters and digital platforms on August 14th, 2019. According to Box Office Mojo, it grossed over $2 million at the box office during its opening weekend. The film was directed by Chris Henchy and produced by Joe Gatto, James Murray, and Brian Quinn. It premiered in theaters and grossed over $2 million. The movie was released in theaters and grossed over $2 million. It opened at number 1 at the box office and is still going strong. It's been a few months since I left the Impractical Jokers, but I think it's safe to say that this is my favorite thing I've ever done in my life. Even though they've been filming non-stop for 7 years now, the guys from Impractical Jokers will feel super nostalgic whenever they have to say goodbye to each other for a little while. After wrapping up production on Season 7 last year, all 4 members started tackling new projects that would take them in exciting new directions. You may have seen Saul with his family on their reality show, Joe with an unannounced project coming this fall, and Q and his comedy troupe hitting the road for their stand-up tour. Who will replace Joe Gatto on Impractical Jokers? As for now, there's no news of who will replace Joe Gatto on Impractical Jokers. However, we do know that the show will go on, and the rest of the cast will continue to film. However, Joe isn't closing the door on returning to Impractical Jokers. He said he might return in the future, and teased that the show would be different without him. I'm not officially done yet. There's no final decision until they tell me they're going to renew the show, Joe said. I don't think the show will be the same without me, but I think it'll be great. I think they'll have some fun changes in store and stuff. I don't know what they're gonna do, and they're not telling me anything, but it'll be a fun ride. That's a wrap. While Joe was on the show, he only released 1 album, and he said he needed to focus more on his music. And he is now taking his music public, and we look forward to seeing more from him in the coming years. For now, fans will have to continue watching the remaining cast members on Impractical Jokers. The show is in its 9th season, and we can't wait to see what the boys get into next.
You step around the counter, go help this guy, and sneak up on this guy like you're Dracula.
Can I help you?
Joe, keep going.
Joe, follow him outside.
Joe, sunlight!
Are you sad to see Joe Gatto go? Do you think the show will continue on without him? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.